Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload, and today it's a game between Lambo and DeMusliM on Ascension to Aiur, the latter edition. In the top left-hand corner of the map, it is the blue Zerg player, Lambo, hailing from Germany and from Team Kulash. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is the red Terran player, DeMusliM, hailing from the United Kingdom and currently teamless. It's been around for a while. We're watching DeMusliM games back in the Wings of Liberty beta, I believe it was. Back in the day before some of you probably even started watching StarCraft 2. I was there watching StarCraft. I have the times. I have the times put into watching this game, that's for sure. So, this is from the WESG 2017 European qualifiers. This is the very best that Europe has to offer. Again, United Kingdom and Germany going at it in a ZVT, where it's a hatch first from Lambo, a barracks first from DeMusliM, well, after supply depot, and nothing too crazy going on yet. I don't see anybody cheesing. Lambo, there it is. There's your 17 drone extractor and your 17 drone spawning pool. Bam, Lambo's got these timings down. He is ready to rock against DeMusliM. DeMusliM, on the other hand, is saving up those minerals to go for the command center. He sent the drone or the SCV down. I see it. Do you see it? Maybe he must have rallied off. Yeah, I believe this SCV is going to go out and build the command center here. The timing, a little interesting. Usually Terran players will... What are you waiting for? I guess he's getting a Marine and upgrading his orbital command first before he goes for the command center, and there it is. All right, so got a handful of minerals here. Doesn't actually impede the constructing process of the SCV at all to be holding these. You'd think it would, right? It's like, doesn't he need that hand for stuff other than holding minerals? I know if I try to do a project and I'm holding like a donut in my left hand, it doesn't go very well. I usually need two hands for stuff. Like recently I put up my Christmas lights and I was up on my roof and it was, I don't know, I don't usually think of how dangerous it is until I'm done. And then I look back and go, I was 2 stories up and wasn't wearing a harness or anything. I mean, a really, really strong gust of wind could have knocked me off the roof. But I never think about it when I'm up there. I'm very concentrated on the task at hand. Maybe that's what the SCV is doing. He's just very concentrated on the task at hand and doesn't even notice as he's inside this command center. There he is, popping out that he has something in his hand until he needs to do something with it. Anyway, enough random weird stuff here. There are some lings out here for defense, but again, it was a Marine opening, which means no such thing as a Reaper. Got ourselves a starport on the way from DeMusliM, and making 2 Marines at a time. So it looks like it could be a bit of a bio play here from our red Terran player, which we did see on Sunday. If you didn't watch the match between Sort of and Hero Marine, you probably should. It was one of the more intense ZVTs I've seen in a while. A lot of good Viper play, surprisingly. A lot of good Liberator play out of Hero Marine. You should check it out. If you're a ZVT fan at all and you missed it, go back and watch. I'm only casting 1 game a day right now, so I understand that's still nigh impossible to keep up with, considering most of these games are at least 15 minutes, some as many as 35 plus, and every day is a lot. But I just try to give you guys a bit of a cafeteria style StarCraft 2 experience where you can come to my channel and there are 5 new casts and you can choose, what am I interested in? What do I want to watch here today? Is it a Mindrake Madness? Is it Into the Void? Do I want a ZVT or a PVT or PVZ today, perhaps a mirror matchup, and I feel like those options should always be available to you. Right. That's what we're all about. Hey, Widowmine's out. And the Scouting Overlord, he is fast. He thought he was going to live, but no. He had the speed upgrade and everything. And he just got killed. Bad timing. I mean, he did get the scout off. He saw exactly what's going on here from DeMusliM. He saw the drop coming, which is probably worth it. He moved some queens down to the 3rd base to defend against it. Probably should bring some lings, too. They've got speed. They're going to be useful. And again, the Widowmines, the change to them in 4.0, and it persists in 4.0.2, which this is, once they've fired, they lose their cloak until they can fire again. It's very, very unfortunate for them. But I don't know. I don't know if it changes all that much in the meta. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just deluding myself as a Zerg main. All right, Widowmine burrowing at the front. Not in range to kill anything. Not enough Marines to kill 3 queens. Yeah, I mean, this is just some harassment from DeMusliM. It's not going to do any lasting damage. Widowmine does fire and does take down a queen, but then reveals itself and gets murdered in the process. 4 Hellions. Oh, Hellbat transformation showing on up to try to deal with this. Hellbat's a lot scarier. Banelings, though, doing bonus damage versus Hellbats just like they do against Lings. Is it going to be enough? And it looks like the Marines are allowed to get some damage off while the Hellbats are tanking it. The Lings trying to get rid of the Marines. And it's just a chaos factory right now, but the Banelings do manage to show up, clear out most of the stuff to DeMusliM, and 2 Hellions managing to retreat from the location. Queens, get out of my backyard, and one more Hellion explodes into 8 million parts, and all that's left is a little piece of blackened soot on the ground. That is how hard these things explode. You do not want to be a Hellion Violet, because if that thing explodes, you're in a lot of trouble. You're just vaporized instantly. Liberator did set up the natural base, but got shut down. 1 drone got killed there, so Lambo doing this pretty well. Pretty observant. Pretty good micro on display here too. DeMusliM's getting some damage done, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 1,100 resources lost for Lambo. DeMusliM sitting at 1,300. So fairly even at this point. 53 to 40 total harvesters. Lambo has lead, and he's got a 4th base on the way. Oh, DeMusliM. He's building a 3rd base. I didn't see it for a second because it's here at this wall at the natural. So he's going for a 3rd base while the 4th base is on the way from Lambo. So he's doing what he needs to do. Whoa, double Thor production. I did not whoa, I didn't see these factories. I didn't expect mech out of this guy. I thought this would be a bio play all the way, and I'm wondering if Lambo thinks that way too. But he is getting a Roach Warren, which is not generally something you get against bio. Roach Ravager, okay, right? I actually haven't seen it in the most recent patch. Is Roach Ravager still okay till about 11 minutes in ZVT? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in 4.0. 3.19 and actually kind of fell out of style there too. Hellions rolling in, trying to kill some creep tumors. 3 queens, shutting them away. We 3 queens of Orientar. Checking that 4th base. Are these Hellions? Queen just about dead there. I mean, she's down to 35 total hit points. Can anybody toss her a transfuse? No. None of her friends have transfuses available. Come on, guys. All these creep tumors. You'd have enough to help your friend, and there it is. There's the transfuse. Okay, feeling better. Feeling better about life. Infestation Pit, Hydralistic Den, just getting everything, I guess, is Lambo right now, and 3rd base landing for DeMusliM while he attacks with a whole bunch of Hellions and a couple drop Thors. Oh, I love the drop Thor. I like the drop Thor. Get out of there, Queens. Drop Thors are not for you. Not at all. Using their single target attack to get rid of Overlord 2. Lings, Banelings, Roaches, trying to do what they can. The Roach is very good against the Hellbats. Not as good against the Thors, as it turns out. But if there are enough Roaches, as there are, pick up, retreat, pick up, retreat. Good micro here on these Thors. Banelings exploding all over everything else. All that's left here are the 2 Thors, and they decide it's time to retreat. They're good, but they're not that good if they're left entirely alone. Wow, Lambo just macroing his face off, making 10 drones at a time. He's going to be up to 80-something by the time all is said and done here, and DeMusliM sitting at a fairly pedestrian 57. I know, like 60 workers at 7 minutes. You're saying, I'm never at that many workers at 7 minutes. How dare you malign DeMusliM? And it's true. It's just compared to how many workers are available for Lambo right now, it's problematic, is what it is. All right, Roaches are here. They have no upgrades. They're working on +1/+1 for themselves, and the Ravagers and Hydras and Lurkers that benefit from the same upgrades, that missile attack. Actually, Roach is pulling back here. I don't know, man. You're in a pretty good spot. I guess there are 2 tanks defending this 3rd base, simultaneously defending the path into this natural, as well as somewhat defending this 3rd base location. They can't really cover both super efficiently, but they can try. They can try to get both, and at least get them both a little bit here. A lot of Hydralisks on the way from Lambo. This could be a Lurker-type deal. Although, has he made a Lurker Den? No. I mean, I feel like Lurkers would be pretty good against mech, unless there's a lot of tanks. But I don't know. Baneling drops here at the natural. Split the SCVs. And dropping. No. I'm empty, says the Overlord. Don't just go back to work, everyone. It's cool. They don't go back to work, so he moves into the main base, where there is no missile turret. How is there no missile turret here at all? Yeah, 1 and 2 for SCVs going down. A lot of them are very injured, and our Drop Lord is going to get killed by the Viking, who doesn't even really have to chase it down. It just kind of stops running, sadly for it. Viper production on the way from Lambo. Do love to see the Viper play. It's super important. Super mega important here. Roaches holding this center section of the map. Holding both Zelnaga watchtowers. A lot of information available to Lambo right now. Creep spread looking pretty good too. More tanks, getting +2 vehicle weapons, +1 vehicle and ship plating just about to complete here, as we can see. Also missile attacks level 1 and ground carapace level 1, 2. Hellions just running around. I guess they got the blue flame, and they outnumber that Roach 8-1. So goodbye, Roach. Burning to death. And this poor Ling dies a lot more easily to these Hellions. Fewer hit points and takes extra damage from them too. It's a bad combination. All right, so Roach Hydra here from Lambo. Going to have some Viper support. I like this. Roach Hydra by itself against mech, fairly bad. But with Viper support, suddenly Blinding Cloud, suddenly Abduct, suddenly Parasitic Bomb against if they're a large group of Vikings and things like that. It's going to be good. Smart Servos. Oh, DeMusliM getting the Smart Servos upgrade. Oh, that decreases the transformation time for things like Vikings and things like Hellions into Hellbats. I like it very much. DeMusliM trying to land his 4th base, not being able to do it, abducting a tank off the ledge, 2 tanks off the ledge, and murdering them. That's what I like to see from Vipers, is abducts used against big ticket items. That was what was sold to Zerg players when that ability was introduced, was you can abduct tanks and Colossus and stuff and get them out of that death ball of your opponent. Okay, Lambo is he double expanding, or has he already got this one? Yeah, he's already got a 5th base, a 6th base is coming in too, versus DeMusliM desperately trying to get a 4th base landed, but there's so much army out there. +1/+1 on those guys, +2/+2 on the way. Smart Servos almost done. That feels like a long upgrade. Is that a long upgrade? Oh, 79 seconds. Yeah. Really long upgrade here. Lambo marching in. Roach Hydra. No Viper support. Ooh, he's got a nice concave, though, but he doesn't really want to engage with these tanks. Again, who have the +1, unless they have that Viper support with either Abduct or Blinding Cloud. Heading, just dancing, just dancing. Ooh, is that an Overlord that just died? I hope that was just an Overlord, not a Viper, for Lambo's sake. Spire being constructed by Lambo back home, and here's the Viper group. All right, wow, there are seriously 5 of them? Okay, 5 Vipers. There's the Abduct on, wow, Vikings, actually. Double Abduct on the, he really worries about those Vikings. I guess they could pick off the Vipers from distance, which is bad. But maybe I would have got the Thors? I don't know. Abduct on another Viking. That is the target here. Another Viking going down. More Vikings going down. What is this? This is not an accident. He's on purpose targeting Vikings with the Abduct ability. The Viking fleet is 4. 5 of them have been killed, so he's basically halved it. But I guess if the Viking fleet gets big enough, they just can one-shot Vipers from distance, and that's actually really good for DeMusliM. All right, Ultralisk Cavern under construction for Lambo here inside the main base. Additionally, a Greater Spire here in the main base. Lambo getting all of the Tier 3 tech against his Terran opponent. 4th base is landed for DeMusliM. He's got 4 bases up and running. Are any of these going to be planetary fortresses, or is he just that brave that everything's in orbital command? What's he going to do with this one? Come on, DeMusliM. Show us what you got. Does he even have an engineering bay? He does. And it's going to be a planetary fortress. Okay, the 4th base is going to be a PF. I feel better about this for DeMusliM. And here comes the, the Hydras are sort of, here they're coming. They got +2/+2, +3, +3's on the way, as well as +1 melee attack, because if you're going to make ultras, you might as well give them attack upgrades. Pathogen glands preparing for infestors, and +3/+3 vehicle weapons and vehicle and ship plating on the way for DeMusliM here at 13 minutes. Abducting tanks. Wow, that tanker just got absolutely obliterated. And this 3rd base by DeMusliM forced to be lifted off. The SCVs are repairing. Is it going to be enough to save it? It looks like it very well could be. Oh my gosh, and it is coming from the top side. DeMusliM's army. He's got Blue Flame Hellions. He's got tanks. He's got Thors. It's mostly a Hydra army here from Lambo, which is pretty flimsy against tanks and these Hellions. But a lot of SCVs died there. Oh yeah, see these Vipers getting picked off by this Viking group. I guess, yeah, it makes sense why they were the target, but he saved his 3rd. That's a massive, massive pickup for DeMusliM. Saving that 3rd base while losing a handful of SCVs. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, these upgrades continuing. Post-haste. There's chitinous plating. There's melee attack level 1 just about done here for the Lambo. Pushing up to the center of the map, killing a bunch of creep tumors. Goodbye, creep tumors. Blup, 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 blup. Creep spread is almost, almost touching his stuff, though. And at that point, you got to do some house cleaning. That's how I like to describe it here. Lambo attacking where the army wasn't, or at least where it used to be. It's still kind of, it's moving around. It's very mobile for a mech army, actually, for DeMusliM. He's got a large tank count, too. 19 tanks, soon to have +3 attack against a mass Hydra army, even with some Blinding Cloud. I don't think this is going to be enough. Lambo looking good, but DeMusliM prepared. Look at this tank count. It's disgusting. Missile turrets on the way here, too. Hydras do have that +2/+2, but the tank splash. Abducting a couple tanks, but if that's what you, if that's all that is, you think. I am surprised none of these are lurkers. I really am. Although, again, the tanks outrange them and do extra damage versus them, so if your opponent has too many tanks, probably not a great idea to get those lurkers. Another Spire on the way from Lambo, I guess for additional upgrades is what those would be. DeMusliM chasing them Hydras away. First Ultralisk coming in. Raven as well. Can use that armor-piercing splash damage ability. What the heck is it? Falcon, you know what it's called. Do you know what it's called? You don't know what it's called. High capacity, enhanced munitions. Anti-armor missile. That's the one. That is the one. Meanwhile, continuing to push here. More abducts on the Raven. Goodbye, Raven. We were talking about you, but you're dead now. You got abducted into 1,800 Hydralisks. That is so many Hydras. 44 Hydras on the ground right now. 1,400 or 14,000 resources lost for Lambo compared to 10,000 for DeMusliM so far. Pretty cost efficient as mech is supposed to be. +1 ship weapons, getting another Raven. He really wants this Raven. He's continuing to push across the map here. Got a tank, killing some creep tumors. Got a Raven scouting for that tank. It's a bit of a siege right now. Again, fully upgraded tanks, not something you see every day in StarCraft. Coming at it. Hydras from the top side and the bottom side, getting us around. Blinding Cloud on some of these tanks. A lot of these tanks are blinding clouded, but not all of them, and it doesn't last forever. Tanks continuing to come from distance here. Vikings trying to get rid of Overseers, trying to get rid of what they can. So many tanks back here. How? Where did these guys come from? That was a lot of dead tank, you guys. That was 20 dead tanks in this game. Not all in that battle, obviously, but jeez, but there were still 6 of them, 7 of them. Just waiting. More reinforcing units coming up. Just more and more tanks. I mean, Lambo, if I was you, I might consider going Broodlords at this point. How's that Viking count looking for DeMusliM? 6 of them. I mean, that's good. Man, he's just going Hydra, though. It's almost like he's panic-making Hydras right now. It's kind of what I do when I'm in trouble, is I panic-make Lings, which is bad. I guess panic-making Hydras is better. At least they have some more utility in situations like this than Zerglings, who just get absolutely massacred. But again, 90 hit points. They got that boost a while ago. It's just not still making, doesn't make them invincible against tanks. Is what we're looking at here. Trying to bait these units into this tank fire as DeMusliM. I like it. I like what he's trying to do. That's that consume sound. Consume. Couple drones getting killed. Blue Flame Hellion running into this 5th base of Lambo. Don't care about the spine crawler, ma'am. We're just here to murder us some drones, and they do actually care. Hydra attack into the 3rd base of DeMusliM. There are tanks defending, though, and these guys might end up retreating. Yeah, Blue Flame Hellion tank against Hydra, really good. Really, really good. This tank has only 2 kills, but did shove away the Hydralisk attack. There's still a Blue Flame Hellion here. 10 drones went down. And there was not really a move to defend it here from Lambo. APM for these guys, 420 for Lambo, 260. And another attack on in here, abducting all of the Vikings. He really wants this Viking count to be not as big, but it's not enough. There are still 5 Vikings. They still have +3 ship plating, still have +1 air weapons, +2 air weapons is on the way. This is extremely patient work out of DeMusliM. He's not attacking in with everything he's got. He's setting up the contain. He's sending Blue Flame Hellions in to roast up more and more of these drones. And that's a lot of dead drones. I mean, this is 20 dead drones in this game so far, but it's still 60 to 57 Harvesters. Lambo has a nice lead, and finally the Hydras just deign to respond. That's what they're trying to do. DeMuslim's trying to land a 6th base up north here, but there is unfortunately an Overlord pooping creep directly in the way. Very inconsiderate of him, is what I'd like to say here. Vikings just killing Overlords, trying to supply block his opponent, I guess. Which seems totally fine. What's killing this Overlord? Single Viking. Yeah, I mean, he just keeps making those Vikings. He's very good at it. Another Overlord dies. Lambo is not supply blocked again. He must have a lot of Overlords. Let's see what he has. He's got 20 of them. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, plus all the hatcheries that he has. Another attack of Hydras do force another liftoff on this 3rd base. The tanks are trying to hold, but there's an Ultra, and the 3rd base does end up falling for DeMusliM. Hydra's pushing on in with Ultra support. Ultra Hydra, a very, very scary combination here. Losing the 3rd base is a big-time problem for DeMusliM, but he's not pulling his whole army back. He's still slowly pushing forward with a million siege tanks. He's got 24 siege tanks. A base at the south section here for Lambo is on the way. He ended up losing his 5th base, but 6th base, 7th base. 7th base coming up to replace it. No big deal. Hydra's trying to attack in here again, but 2 tanks and 2 Blue Flame Hellions. Is it enough to save it? No. Also, this Ultra is stuck in the back, which is real bad for this situation. But there we go. 6 hit points, does end up getting killed, but helps to kill that tank. And the Hydras continue to push on their mission. Vikings just murdering everything in the sky. Tanks slowly creeping forward. This is the most patient tank push I have seen in a long time on my channel. Vipers trying to throw down that blinding cloud. But look at the Vikings just absolutely taking them out of the sky. Blinding cloud is up on several of these tanks, but so many tanks are remaining. The Hydras trying to attack into this. Ultras are falling. Not enough Hydras using repair drones off of those Ravens to repair these guys as necessary, and the repair speed is pretty good. Pretty good, you guys. Suddenly it's 115. Oh, and that's it. A good game. Well played out of Lambo. Lambo is defeated, and DeMusliM was victorious. Good golly, Miss Molly. What a ZVT. DeMusliM, again, just insane levels of patience in this game. This was a push that started here, right? Started at his 4th base. I guess, yeah, this was his 4th base. And ended up, I mean, not too far away, really. But just a very slow, probably took him about 7 or 8 minutes to make it up to this location where he could simultaneously threaten this 5th base and the 6th base. And just there was nothing that Lambo could do about it. Again, I feel like Brewlords, but again, no Brewlords, because there were 8 Vikings in the sky, and the Vikings had +2 attack and +3 ship plating, and there were repair drones available to repair the Vikings as necessary. Wow, great game. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Resources lost for this game going to be a total of 30,000 or 39,500 for Lambo, compared to a mere 29,700 for DeMusliM. 12 Ultras died, 16 Vipers, 124 Hydralisks, 20 drones, 20 Overlords, a Drop Lord, 24 Roaches, a Hatchery, 59 Creep Tumors, and 7 Queens for Lambo. DeMusliM ended up losing 2 Thors, 38 tanks. 38 tanks died. He had 20 at the end of the game, lost way more than half. 27 Hellbats, 65 Hellions, 18 Vikings. Again, this was not without cost, you guys. He didn't win this thing without a scratch. He definitely fought his way, bled for it, but got the win in the end. That was amazing. I mean, end of the game here, Lambo had what? 20 Hydras? Yeah, he had 20 Hydras against 20 fully upgraded siege tanks with a couple Ravens to support. Nope, not going to happen. Incredible. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.